in this back row back here, sir, we've got Navy, Marines, Army. I'm not saying that other one.
And the one in the dress?
Air Force.
There you go.
Okay, who made those?
I did.
Okay.
They're made for a silent auction for hot dogs for heroes that a friend of ours does down the street. It's all free food for the vets and the first responders. And it's on August the 19th. We just don't know where it is.
You know the most interesting part? I do a lot of this, and I do the one that I sell the most of is Coast Guard. Unbelievably or not, because people can't get it. Because, you know, everybody has these, but they don't make the Coast Guard one. So
You'll have to send me the Coast Guard because I can't get it.
yeah, like I said, I'm not the person, but I'm just saying, I just thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, let's go to this one. Is that good enough, cameraman? Who made this?
That was me.
Okay.
Just an old pattern I found in my dad's folders, and my daughter likes fantasy stuff, so I did that. Took the copper and used liver of sulfur on it to oxidize it, and then steel wooled off one area in the flames, and then glued it on the back. So I think it's got 289 blade changes in it. I lost count in there.
Did you make more than one at a time? You didn't do. You didn't double. Oh, I would have at least done two.
I felt bad enough using a spiral blade.
Oh no!
It's glad to go over to the dark side. Dark.
He's even doing the dark side. But anyway, I like the way he got the copper tarnished, and then he made it. He polished it. Did you put anything on the after you steel wooled it?
Yeah, no, I did spray it. So.
Did spray it with lacquer or something?
Yeah.
So okay, because then otherwise it'll tarnish right back real fast. But that is cool, and that is a lot of holes, guys.
Are you going to hang that up?
It's for my daughter, so yeah, it's got a hole in the top.
Okay, that's what I was wondering how you're going to hold that up.
It's got a hole right there.
Okay. Yeah, that looks great.
That is thick copper.
I ordered a couple of sheets. One that may be the thinner sheet I ordered.
Yeah, but it's pretty. If you look at it, it's pretty thick because it's substantial and it's heavy. Okay. Who's that?
There's mine.
Okay.
And I just went ahead and saw that Steve Good had it. I liked it. I wanted to go and make one.
That falls in with what you were saying too. I don't know. I think for size, this has probably got as many inside cuts as that one does.
Yeah, I will never go ahead and make another one of those again.
That's a lot of size. That's for your friend, the wife's friend that likes cats.
Yeah.
Is that a spiral blade?
No.
No, a spiral blade, when you're cutting 3/4 inch oak, cuts fantastic. The 2/0 blade, if you use the thicker blades, which you think would do better, don't cut where the dime, but the spiral, the thin 2/0 blade, cuts through that really smooth.
I have not had much success with a spiral blade yet.
Come on over, we'll teach you.
It's called practice. It's called practice.
We're inviting more people to the dark side.
Who made this?
Those there are mine.
Okay.
I kind of got into the copper cutting, and I'll go ahead and I'll find a pattern that interests me, and I'll try to see if I can go and cut it. They've been interesting to cut.
Now, this looks like a piece of reclaim. Is this pipe?
Yeah.
So this was the pipe that we bent out at that one thing, and then just you hammer it out. You get buy a little chunk of, and make it. So this is like a lady.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, come on, American flag. Now, are you cutting it straight out, or are you cutting with the wood on top?
I going ahead and cutting with wood on top. I went ahead and put a piece of 1/4 inch over and
Okay.
And it went ahead and made it easier to cut.
Now this one's got what you painted it red after.
Yeah, afterwood, sanded it down, polished it.
Is that like
lacquered it.
like the Roaring 20s?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Okay. And then
Use a jewel blade on that.
No, used a number one polar on all of them.
But you're sandwiching all of them.
Yeah.
That might be my problem.
yeah, when you sandwich them, they don't come up,
Yeah.
And they're easier to hang on to.
and they don't get near as hot. That's the biggest problem I had. Okay. Nice. They're really cool. And you kind of used the same theory as him. He used some kind of acid on it to make it that way, and you used paint, and then you just sanded it off. Okay.
This is mine, Walt. It's obviously Chippendale. It's segmentation, so it's cut from one piece of wood and then painted the various colors. For my granddaughter who really likes Chippendale.
Who just graduated from high school, right?
Just graduated from high school and will start as a sophomore in college next year.
And she was down at Disney World.
You didn't get confused which Chippendale she was talking about.
No.
She may not have meant that.
A good uncle thinks it's, or good grandfather thinks it's this. Chippendale.
That's definitely that Chippendale.
Okay?
That's mine. That's a cheap boot pattern.
Can you see it good, or that I need to tilt it a little bit? You got it.
It looks good now.
Okay. Then we've got,
That's mine too. That I just kind of took it wasn't exactly a pattern, it was something on the internet, and I changed it a bit to make it into a pattern I like.
is this for another one of your wife's friends? Usually make everything we see up here.
I made one to hang it on Music Club. This one's for our house.
Okay.
Looks good.
You notice he has these nice lasered tags on them. He and that other guy named Larrie, everything they laser tag.
That's mine too. I brought this on a Saturday for the week we had the safety class, and I forgot who it was, but somebody was reading it when I was taking it at the end of the night. Said read 88 keys, 10 fingers, no problem, and they said it's wrong. And I play an organ. I said, doesn't a piano have 88 keys? He said, yeah, but we only got 9 fingers.
Okay. And then I don't know if I can do it well. This was a.
You don't put it over yet.
Yeah, I know. I got to do this. I got to do it this way. Where'd you get this?
I got that in
This covers it up, doesn't it?
and my wife sewed it up. It was interesting that the guy I know is like he plays the organ professionally in Las Vegas. He's going to go on a Europe tour, and I saw him a few weeks ago at our organ club, and he was selling stuff totally for the wounded warriors. I didn't know he was going to do that. I happened to give him one of these, so when he plays for them, he now has one of these for them.
These are cool. And this was in, I think this was the last Scroll Saw magazine, wasn't it?
No, Steve.
No, Steve Good. That's right. And there's about 6 patterns. Okay.
Yeah, who you got one there?
Who is it? Come on.
Who made that?
Who made this?
I made that. This is 266 spots. Took them 20 minutes.
I mean, totally.
For those that don't know, the most interesting one, this is Intarsia, but the kicker is these spots. Think about it. To do it, what he has to do is cut that hole and fit that, and then cut a piece of, I'm saying walnut, I'm thinking, right? Walnut, and it has to fit exactly in that spot, in that hole that he's cut. So he said there's 280 inside cuts like this that he had to fit that in there. And you said you inside line one and outside the other, so it left it proud just a little bit so you could sand it flush.
On the holes, I cut on the line, and on the plugs, when I cut those out of another piece of board, I cut on the outside of the line. The blade was just barely touching the line on the outside, which made them a little bit oversized. But the way it was cut, they'll fit about half to 2/3 of the way in that, and then I glue them in, and then turn it up on my belt sander and sand them off.
What I'm saying, that's just, I mean.
George's so precise. I just like getting near the line.
And then somebody made the comment, said, well, if you cut this hole and cut this piece, how did you know this piece went in that hole? They're all numbered. The whole pieces. And
What are 360 something pieces? Only 360
yeah.
pieces.
What do you have? What's the lips or what's the tongue?
Red cedar.
Okay. I mean, that's just amazing.
Red cedar, the eyes, yellow heart, and the center of the eye is what's the black? Ebony. And the white is
Zero on these ears. I mean, you look at him. What he did is he cut it inside out, and then he has some kind of backer or something behind it to bring that out a little bit three-dimensionally.
And the grooves in there put on they call it a wonder wheel.
Wonder wheel.
It's looks like a grinding wheel that's been sanded to a sharp point.
Well,
What was the main part of the cat? Cedar, western cedar. Western cedar. Medium, not a medium part.
Get up this.
That's my Metzger. It's white oak and it has a polyurethane finish.
How did you apply the polyurethane? Did you put it on a rag and then while it's turning?
Well, the first coat I used white ball and I applied it to the rag. After that, I used the brush on and I used that foam brush on. And you have to sand for the coats. And how much I sanded between particular coat depended on what flaws.
Yeah, that's great.
What grit did you use? Final grit?
Well, I started out with about 180 and I went over to 600.
How good all the
Okay. Which one you want to do next?
Yeah.
That's great. Very nice. I'm gonna update the website today.
That was mine, Dale, and that was probably one of my easiest pieces because George only charged me $20 to make that one. That's why it was so easy.
Yeah.
only 20, huh?
Yeah, $20.
If you had one bird, would it be 10?
Maybe so. But actually, that was more challenging than I thought. That was certainly the most challenging one. And I'll tell you that for me, the funny part is the hardest part. It was cutting the plywood backer to glue it on. Because of its size, trying to cut that out on the scroll saw was the most challenging part.
That's why you use one of those blades I don't talk about. Weird blade.
All right.
Okay, that's mine. Stuart Miller, kind of self-explanatory. It's a seafood pattern.
Cuz, please say the name. That was
Stuart.
Yeah. Okay. How about these? There's two of them.
That's mine, David Graves. It's a couple of quilt squares that I'm gonna inlay into the side of a bench that I'm working on, assuming that I have the bench completed. But it's maple, walnut, mahogany.
Will they go into the back of the bench?
It's going to go into the side. The bench doesn't have a back to it.
It doesn't have a front or a top or anything right now.
Yeah.
Well, it does. Actually, it's assembled, but it has
You're gonna hang it from there for the time being, right? Skyhook.
I'm George, North. That's a self-portrait. No, yeah, it is. It is. I had one of those hanging. On my back porch, and a lady that came by one day, and she bought the end of the trail that I had, and the motorcycle I had, and she insisted on buying that one. I wouldn't let her have it because I wanted to keep it, and she finally talked me into it recently. So I let her have that one, and that's a new one I just made now.
That's good. How many layers is that?
By the way, that's heavily profiled. I don't know if you can tell on the camera. That's
zebra wood.
That's I think the biggest nose I've seen.
Yeah, watch it. Were you looking at that or me?
No, I was looking at that. All right.
That's mine. I'm Ron Campbell. My daughter shipped me that piece of wood for Father's Day, and so I spun it up last night. I don't know what you called it.
That's funky wood.
Yeah.
I mean, they just gave you a piece of wood for Father's Day?
Yeah.
Made yourself something? What did you get?
Buzz, the note also said when you're finished, return it to me.
I don't feel bad, that's more than I've got. A piece of wood's better than a time.
I suggested I give it back to her, but my wife would. She's the one who decides whether stuff goes away or not. And that is a piece of spalted maple, I guess, out of my son's tree. And you can see it's all cracked there where, this was out of a crotch spot, and I gave up trying to make these hollow forms that don't crack if you include the pit. So I just started turning it, and you got your finger in there. I know you can tell that I couldn't quite get it thin there in the top. And I didn't finish it, it just kind of went everywhere. So,
You know what? Somebody told me one time. Only a woodworker will walk up to a hollow form and put their finger in it.
yeah, everybody does. But anyway, I just that was still wet when I did the beetle buffing system on it, so it moved and contorted. The little finish there is.
You said you had a tough time at the top, but is the whole thing hollowed out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's all hollowed out.
And it's just the shoulder that's overly thick.
Overly thick.
That's what Turners do, Dale.
I wondered what you guys did.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't
I
hold
convinced myself to stay a little bit, just forget that.
can't hold these up, but
Next time I'll stay.
there's several medallions here.
Nice.
I'm still George. But I just wanted to file those out. You see the block with the scene on it. I make those for the turners to turn ornaments out of. And I've got a guy in South Georgia that I bet he bought 50 of those at least 50 of those sets. He turned a lot of them, he sells them. But I decided I'd try that same method of inlaying for some other things. And you notice the little dog there. I have a daughter-in-law who has Yorkies. So I made those for her and the Jesus. I'm gonna change that up. Something a lot lighter so that they have more contrast. When we're talking about the things for Christmas, I'm talking about those that are in the package.
Of everything combined, it's just, almost like it was planned. Oh, that's mine. Like I said, I had to show that every once in a while I turned the pen. Wow. Some of it.
That's
Me
buzzing.
too.
Which one looks better?
I like the one in front.
Neither one of them are camo. They're supposed to be camo. Yeah?
I've done camo.
I was going to say, that's sort of a camera.
Sort of. Yeah.
What caliber is that?
That looks like 30
caliber.
30 caliber. Yeah.
30 ultra short.
You can get these in 50 caliber too. The kits.
But it was fun. It was fun and interesting. The hardest part was putting it together.
Are those bolts acrylic?
Yes, both of them are. Mine is acrylic, and I think his
Yeah,
is
that
acrylic
one's
also.
acrylic too. It looks like it anyway.
They're great for your pockets.
Yeah, they're great pocket pens because because of the bolt action they stay closed.
Yeah, and they also got the rifle clip on them. All right. What's next? Helicopters.
Yeah.
Who's
I was
the-
on a chat for Scroll Saw Saturday. You know, they got a couple boards out there for the Google Hangouts or something like that. And the guy, Russ, had designed that thing, and he was just showing people, and he cut one out while he was on the chat. I had him send it to me the next day. You know, yeah, I like little things like that. They're so simple to make. It didn't take long at all. You know, have a prop that turns or whatever. You could add whatever, change it to whatever you want. But anyway, he just showed it to us last Saturday night, so I figured I'd get it done so I can show them today that they're finished.
You're missing a tiny electric motor.
Yeah. I was happy to just give them the spin.
You got them on the scroll saw and the bandsaw.
Yeah, both.
All right. Who?
That's a snake.
Okay.
So Marcus and I decided to make snakes. So one of them is mine and one of them is Marcus.
I would say the black one is yours.
I ain't guessing.
Yeah.
That's market one. Only because of the wood. You like that wood better.
I'm gonna cheat. George.
Opposite, huh?
That one's George's. That one's Marcus.
By George and Marcus made.
By George.
They turned out beautiful, haven't
Yeah, you guys. How many pieces? There's got to be a whole lot of pieces. I don't remember how many pieces. What more do you think?
Yeah, because this is all
Because
this
you
is
got
all
those up there, and then
segmented.
you got all the teeth.
And all the
And
face.
The fangs and the teeth.
There's a lot in that face.
Marcus, did you do a piece count on that?
I got it written down somewhere, but I don't remember.
Mine always winds up double, because I can mess them up.
He sent that email and gave that picture. I was impressed.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. What next?
Can we get up by that? Okay. Those are the canes that we were making. We finished them up Tuesday and gave them to Mina with Canes for Heroes. She can take them down to the VA. You know, she puts a patch on each side, and the three on the right are actually the Marines, Army, and Navy. I put a patch on each side because we had extra because nobody wanted them. And the Air Force, I only have one patch for Air Force, so if you turn it around, it doesn't have a patch on the other side. But you know, we use those too much more. Actually, it's just the opposite.
Where's the Coast Guard?
You know, I do have patches for Coast Guard, but you know, we didn't know it. The ones that are probably more in combat would be the Army and Marines. A lot of the vets that you see that are having problems are more Army and Marines than it is with other branches. But, those are the style that we made this year, which is a little different than last year. And next year we're already looking at design a little bit different than that. But we've done around 180 something canes that we've given to them so far. You know, the other day it was just sort of, we made about 92, but we kept about 5 or 6 at the shop in case there was somebody that we knew were vets from the club, you know, that we could give those to. But anyway.
This pattern was a little bit easier to make, I think.
Yeah, it worked out really good. Anyway, we're done with that until end of the season, or we get more wood, one or the other.
Okay.
That's Hans and I know you've seen it before, but the big reason we brought it back is so you can see how we finished the back on it before we put a box around the back and we put labels on it. This is going to be made out of wood, and we're about to send that off to Steve. So that's why.
Steve Good.
Steve
Steve
Good.
Good came and did the presentation after. He did the wood show and then he did a presentation after for us. And we found out that one of the things when he got his wife here, his wife is a Gone with the Wind fanatic. And so she went to different things here for Gone with the Wind, and also he bought her a Gone with the Wind thing at one of the malls while he was here. So I figured it would be nice to make that for him. So it was a mutual thing. It was Rob's wood, and he cut it with his new planer. We cut it 1/2 inch, and then I cut it out, and then our expert framer framed it for us. So it's going out to them, and it's also a boomerang box that somebody needed to send to him anyway.
All right.
And it's maple.
I know you've seen this chair before. We actually did a class on the chair, but it's always nice to bring it back and show you what the finished product was. In the class, it wasn't quite finished, so we plugged it, and if you flip it over, and now
Other way.
Yeah.
Other way. No, grab the handle. Grab that.
All right.
excuse me.
When we give that out, we're gonna give instructions with it.
Yeah, really.
It flips over like this
Twice there, please.
and becomes a stool. And if you remember in the class, these two pieces didn't match up. We cleaned that up and we plugged all the holes. So it's done.
So it's a ladder in the wood. So what is that? Maple and
That's maple and
Purple
purple heart.
My name is Joe Metzger. I built this set of table and chairs for my grandchildren. We have a YouTube video on how to assemble this. It's a rather simple design, but a very sturdy one. It's made out of essentially 2x lumber, in some cases 1.5 instead of 2. And there are no real complicated joining techniques in this. It was designed so that initially you could take it apart and ship it in a box someplace